Fat Joe has been taking this really tough and to heart. Fat Joe has even went out of his way to block any and everyone with the words FBA in their bio, in their tweets. So if you consider yourself a foundationally Black American and you are repping that hard on Twitter, Fat Joe is blocking you because he considers them the worst of the worst.
Ladies and gentlemen, gather around because we got ourselves a little situation in our hands. Welcome to the Sonny Bravo YouTube channel, coming live once again. And today we're talking about none other than Fat Joe. Yes, that Fat Joe. He's out here calling foundational Black Americans radical Black racists. Oh, and he threw in a little jab at Lord Jamar too. Now, I've seen good old Joey Crack say a lot of wild things in my day, but this might just take the cake.
These rumors were made by radical Blacks. Let's just say that. Okay? It's a group of these guys that don't want to hear Jamaican, don't want to hear Guyanese, they don't want to hear a Black guy that ain't down with them.
Right.
Right? So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't Black American.
Who are these guys?
You want me to say a name? We're going to give them too much clout.
I mean,
the FBA, Foundational Black Authority, whoever the these bro is. We got a Looney Tune, like your man Lord Jamar, who's a fucking Looney Tune. Okay, he's a loony bin, right? We just said that the drug of choice is attention. It's this and this and that. They get a guy who, he was a legend, he's brand Nubian.
right.
And he's the wackest in the crew, be clear. But now, this might be like trying to get lit, trying to say anything.
He called foundational Black Americans racist. Now, ladies and gentlemen, but especially ladies, let me ask you something. How do you call the creators of hip-hop, the culture you've built your whole career on, racist? That's like coming over to somebody's house and putting your muddy shoes on the table and getting mad when they make you leave because y'all are childhood friends. Nigga, you're way out of line. And then on top of that, out of nowhere, he decides to throw Lord Jamar into the mix. Now, I'm not saying I agree with everything Lord Jamar says, but Joe calling him irrelevant? Nah, Joe, that's just not the case.
Fat Joe has an album out right now. And just like how the Democratic Party kind of expected foundational Black Americans to just support it just because, I think Fat Joe thinks that although he has a gripe with foundational Black Americans, I think he believes that we're going to go out there and support his new venture. I feel that all foundational Black Americans should boycott Fat Joe's new album. Because what all these people don't understand is all these people who have been ingratiated by hip hop is that if you took it back to your so-called roots or to your motherland or whatever the case may be and asked them to support you, you would not be where you are today. I asked KRS, I asked Fat Joe, I asked Lazy Legs, Buster, a bunch of them. I asked to come to a debate, sit down and let's talk about like civilized people. Bring your assets, bring what you have that strengthens your argument. I'm going to bring the people that I have that say they were there and can tell you about the origins of hip hop. And yes, some people may have been Puerto Rican. Some people may have had Jamaican background or something like that. But guess what? they were all doing and acting like foundational Black American youth. They weren't acting Jamaican. They weren't acting Puerto Rican when it came to interacting in hip hop circles. Even before the culture had a name, the culture was still there. And it was being influenced by foundational Black American youth using foundational Black American music as its base. We wasn't using any Puerto Rican slang. And not just Puerto Rican, anything. It's not about hating anything that doesn't look like you. These are non-arguments that people try to create to try to say that this is what people are upset about. No. We're upset about the fact that you can't just admit that the thing that you love, hip hop, that has brought you fame and fortune, was created by a people that you subconsciously look down upon.
You don't have to agree with the man, but don't act like he hasn't been a voice in the culture, because unlike you, he actually stands on authenticity and won't sell the people out for a check like how you did with the DNC. Now, let's not forget about that. Now, you got to understand, Fat Joe loves to play both sides. One day he's hip hop's biggest fan. The next day he's lecturing black folks about being divisive. Joe, pick a lane. You can't be the referee and the player at the same time. When you get called out for nonsense, now all of a sudden you're Mr. Sensitive. And here's the funny part. This man's out here with the confidence of someone who thinks he invented rap. Joe, I know you got a handful of hits, but let's not get crazy and rewrite history. You're a guest at the cookout. Don't start flipping the tables because you don't like the side dishes. Cooking niggas is part of our culture. This is what we do. The thing about hip hop is it's a reflection of the people who created it. And who were those people? FBAs. The same folks Joe's calling radical. It's like biting the hand that fed you and then blaming the hand for bleeding. I mean, come on, Joe. You really got to be more clever than this. If you want your upcoming album to be a hit, let's be honest, Black or Puerto Rican, nobody's really checking for that shit. Nobody's checking for your new album, Joe. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. How Remy say, I wish I could bring Pun back. Bow! Run that. Like, please, bring Pun back. Let's get an AI Pun and bring Pun back. So we can run that. So we can play that. But enough about what I think. What do you guys think? Is Fat Joe stepping way out of line, or does he have a hidden point somewhere in his rhetoric? And what about Lord Jamar? Do you think Joe is coming at him to deflect, or is it some unresolved beef? Hit me up in the comments and let's keep the conversation going. Or don't. I don't really give a damn. Do what the hell you want to do. Sonny Bravo. Action over talk. I'm going to holler at y'all next time. 100.
So what happens is we let people come in and just take the culture and then turn us into guests in the culture. They want to go from Latinos were 50-50 to Latinos actually created breakdancing and black folks got it from them.
Hip hop was made in New York fucking City. New York City, the Bronx. Hip hop is a New York culture before you say any of that.
Just show your proof. That's what we're saying. We did a whole 2-hour movie with proof of what the hell we're talking about. We showed rapping going back to the 20s and damn 30s.